G'day folks, it's Rowan here, hope you're doing well, and I have a bit of a special announcement to make. Check this out. Yeah folks, this came in the mail this morning actually for me. I was in the middle, just doing my usual routine, you know how it is, you're just waking up, getting ready for work or whatever it is you're trying to do for the day. And I was like, for me, it's beauty for working from home. I actually sit down in front of my computer. I was sitting down like the computer like this. I was just checking my email, and I was going like, "What?" That was my first reaction, and it was basically I thought like I was seeing things. I actually had to go to the bathroom and grab a hot towel and wipe my face a couple times, and came back over here just to make sure I wasn't seeing things. And yes, it is legit. It is true. Um, Thank you so much, YouTube, and also thank you so much for all the supporters out there around the world for your incredible support. I have to say, when I first saw this, ladies and gentlemen, I was so thrilled I almost cried, and I'm still going through the emotions of that right now. I have to admit that when I was looking at this video, um, at one point when I did a bit of a retakes and stuff like that, it took me a bit of a go just to get my mindset. So now I think that this will be the right video for it. I have to admit though that when I first saw this, I was absolutely stunned. I was stoked at the same time. I was so happy. And thanks again, YouTube, for thinking of me. And it means so much to me in going forward with this. Folks, what this means is that for me, it helps me in the long-term future because I know that I put a lot of heart and effort and soul into my work of sharing what I love and enjoy with you all, and I want you all to enjoy that with me in that journey going forward. I will admit though, when I saw this and as an opportunity going forward, I was absolutely stunned with everything happening because it blew my mind away, honestly. Um, But like a couple years ago, when I really pushed hard on my YouTube channel to build up content and everything, at first, when I first built this YouTube channel, it actually only had several years ago, like random video clips of stuff from Mass Effect to Star Wars: The Old Republic, and back in those days in Star Wars: The Old Republic, it was part of my guild, Rev Knights and Proteus at the time when I was with, and I'm still with Proteus to this day. Ravenites is just basically my subsidiary clan that I use it for as a banking clan for storage and stuff nowadays. But I still play Star Wars: The Old Republic. Not as much as I hoped anymore. After a lot of things have happened in my real life, I have to admit that I took a bit of a step back. Playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, I will admit that I really enjoyed that game. I still do. And it's a funny thing when I say this because there are times that, like when you look at other people's videos and stuff like that, when they do recordings of previous gameplays and storyline or whatever it is, for that reason, for me, it was just basically raid videos of my guild having fun, and I do miss those days, by the way. And also the social aspect of doing dungeon runs and other things in the game. It was just fun, like that's what made it fun. I actually did some random videos of guild trailer videos of Star Wars: The Old Republic, for example, of Proteus and the Dark Order of Proteus, which is actually funny, for a Star Wars video. And I thought it was actually very well done, in all seriousness though. I was actually very sad, like when the game kind of died in a way. In retrospect, that a lot of people lost interest with it, and that makes sense. People do come and go. It was a bit of a stagnant moment, but for me, I always loved the game, and I still do. But people do come and go, as I said. One of the biggest things about this was that when I looked at the raid videos and stuff like that, I actually was a bit stunned about a couple of videos had a couple hundred views. It was pretty good. Then I looked at in regarding to the other content that I had done for World of Warships, and World of Warships, I have to admit, I had built a lot of videos on World of Warships. I have to say that I've done a lot of devlog videos, warship review videos, podcasting. King of the Sea was a very good one, and also some shared the random previous broadcasts over the years. I have to admit that some of the footage that I have in there, oh man, some of the stuff I just cringe and go like, wow, I should get rid of them. But no, it's still good content. So I will admit though, I mean, like in going forward, I was actually very, very glad that I had moved on, from it all. I really have. I'm really glad that, that all the stuff that I had done in the past is just pretty much all history. But what I have learned from that is that there are some videos in that category there is actually a success, and some were just not so much. So I've been looking into trying to give a bit of a lighting humor in terms of the dev blogs itself, because look, the dev blogs, to be honest, I mean, like I was talking to one of my friends about this, the dev blogs can be seriously tedious, it can be draining, it can be absolutely mind-boggling, and yeah, sometimes you just go like, what the F is with this content, man? I mean, like, look, let's just be realistic. Some games, they will throw a spanner in the works and we don't know what to say about it. But there are other times in the game itself that there's a lot of good, opportunities about it. First and foremost, the game, the games we do play, do have a lot of special content out there, and they're all supposed to be fun and engaging. But when it comes to dev blogs and stuff, when you see something that's new, that's coming out and everything, you wonder if it's worthwhile talking about the whole in-depth schematics about everything. You might as well throw in some humor. So that's why basically um, I had been thinking about throwing some humor and some memes in between all that so that it keeps it lighthearted and rather than, just some dull, boring content. Trust me, it's just like anybody could sit in front of a microphone and go like this. And this is the story about blah 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 on page 35 that everything is going to be absolutely right. How about I tell you that the answer is wrong? So in all seriousness though, we try to make it a bit more interesting, that's for sure. I mean, like on my streams, for crying out loud, there are sometimes that, like we have some funny moments where people are just having a great time and other people are just like not having so much a great time. And look, it happens, we get it, and I understand. And this is why, like we try and keep things so lighthearted and going forward. One of the biggest things that I have found over in the years as I've been working on my content was that there are some things that you can hit a good gold mine in, and some other things you can't. So what I have found that's pretty good most recently was in throwing in random video clips of, for example, like down Periscope, like Anchors Away, Starship Troopers for Clondafu drop. Then you can throw in some random videos, like for example, like an old video clip of in the Navy from Space Odyssey from the movie, and they had a Spanish version and nobody had the English version. So I was digging it up trying to find it, and I actually had it somewhere, and I was going like, yes, somebody would love and appreciate this. And this is something that I was very, very happy to put it together. Even though it was only a short video clip about like 5 minutes worth, and that's all it was. And I actually was very stunned about how much of a success it was in the end. That was so great. I have to admit though that when I got back into streaming on Twitch in terms of focusing my content and everything that I've been doing on there for World of Warships related, I decided to put short clips and highlights of my stream on there on my YouTube channel to keep it as a history. And at the same time, I also did the right thing, and this is the best thing I ever done on myself, that I thought it was very good, and you probably would agree with me. For example, like my birthday anniversaries, New Year's, Christmas, things like that. Any highlights of that was good. Birthday streams as well, and anniversary streams was nice. But there was one thing that stood out to me, and that's like I said to myself, I should have done it many, many years ago, and that was actually showing the Christmas containers. Now, I have to admit, the Christmas containers for the games itself is like a bit of a, time for season of joy and happiness. But not many people were too happy about what I opened up. Some people disliked it, but a lot of people did like it, so I did kind of a bit of a, got a bit of attraction there, which is pretty good. Um, Also, there are some things that I included on there which I thought is actually pretty nice. Like for example, like the funny Christmas special videos as well, like the cinematics and stuff like that. That each game does it over the years. I kept that in there so that people would enjoy. And in all seriousness though, I just started doing my own podcasts of the Crikey Lounge. Now I have to admit the Crikey Lounge episodes, they're not that popular. But the thing is that why I do it is because I enjoy talking with you. It's a bit different talking to myself and doing recording and give it to you like this, but I find it enjoyable because I can do it and it gives me a bit of relaxation time, honestly. To be fair, to be realistic, I mean, like I've had dealt with a lot of long hours of work and everything, and I'm kind of like, over it. I'm kind of like over with all the, long hours I've been doing for my job, and I mean, like, all I care about right now is just like a way to sit back, relax, and enjoy myself, and that's what I do with streaming. Streaming for me is a great hobby because I do it for fun. I mean, like I've lost a lot of friends over the years, unfortunately. Some have parted ways due to personality differences and things like that. Some, well, have either passed on, and some unexplained, pretty much. But I will be honest though, I mean, like, there are some things that I have dealt with over the years that, that I got to the point that in my life, I mean, I felt that in a good way, I felt good that I'm here for you. And I know that it helps me mentally in going forward. Truth to be told, I hate being alone. And I really do. And it's been a struggle. It's been a mind struggle for me, for my own mental health, and for my own well being. I had been struggling to encourage myself to um, go out there and find new friends and people like that. And look, when I had a good friend of mine here in Brisbane, his name was Robert Frosch. He used to hang out with me a fair bit, and between him and I, we would go to places that we have never been around for a while. And there are some times that we did a bit of a wild thing, one or two, but we had fun. That was it. Like, there's another friend of mine. His name is Donald G. Um, we call him Govera in terms of his in-game name, call sign. But Don and I had been great friends for about nearly 14 years now in the making, nearly 16 coming up soon. We just realized that we didn't catch up last year properly. But yeah, between us, we have a great friendship. And we have been through a lot. We understand that like life happens. A lot of things goes around in life, and he most recently got married, and for me, I'm still as I am, which is fair enough, and I'm not having to go at myself for this. But I will be honest though. I mean, I'm hoping to settle down one day, but the funny part about it all, it comes in due time to find someone nice. But like having a lovely message like this, for example, for the YouTube partner program, it gives me a bit of hope, and it gives me a bit of understanding that there's a lot of people who do care about my content and what I do. And I really do appreciate your support so much. I really do. And I hope to continue that way, and hope my channel will grow and prosper in the near future. The way I see it, how YouTube and Twitch helps me is that I'm not asking for a huge amount of income, right? But what I'm hoping is that it helps me alleviate from the rough experiences I'm going with real life right now. For example, I'm dealing with a lot of financial stuff that I need to take care of, and everyone is dealing with the cost of living, so I'm on that bandwagon. So that's pretty much what my focus is, to stay afloat. And it's basically, I'm trying to do whatever I can. My job's okay, but there's that story where I feel that in terms of the job security side of things, I feel that needs to change next year, because I am thinking about it to look after myself and going forward. Because a friend of mine and even my family members have told me this, that sometimes you have to take a step back and focus on yourself, if that makes sense. Because when it comes down to that, it's like you want to have fun, you want to enjoy yourself, and in order to do that, you have to take a step back to get that step. So what I had been thinking is that, like, I definitely had been thinking that I need a better job than what I'm doing right now, and that's what I'm focusing on for 2024. That's my new goal. And I have to admit that in the most recent meeting that's coming up soon for myself, for the KPI meeting, I wrote something on there that I was pretty nice about it, actually. And I thought it was pretty cool with, the reasoning behind this. And I think going forward, it would be a good thing that will be addressed in the long term with what I'm doing in the future. So without saying too much what I wrote down, because I'd rather keep it as much low profile, but I will say that this is the pretty much what I did mention. It was like, basically, I like to see myself, move up the ladder, or maybe an opportunity to do with certain different roles. But I'm getting tired of doing the same thing day in, day out all the time. And I like to see myself move on and move up from that. But if the circumstances don't change, towards my second year anniversary in the business that I'm working with you at the time, then I have to take further steps in terms of looking after myself and going forward. And that's basically it. That's all I've said. Without saying too much, there's a whole heap of other stuff on there, but I'd rather not mention it too much in detail. But I will admit that that is a bit of a stepping stone in the right direction. Now, I will admit though that it's a bit of a mind-boggling move that I made for myself there, but it is a fair point that I have made. It's understandable, because when I think about everything that's been going on, you got to look after yourself. And when I look at the stuff that I've done to get to this point, in my life, in terms of this goal right here beside me, it means that I'm taking good care of myself, and I'm actually, putting, a lot of good content out there. In the long term. Yes, I know it's a bit of time consuming and everything, but I'm enjoying it. And that's all that matters to me right now, nowadays. But yeah. One thing I will mention before I do go is that I want to say thanks everyone for your incredible support and everything, for what you've done. Because I'll be honest, I was mind blown, and that made my day. But in going forward, I'm looking forward to sharing a great experience with you in more detail soon. But for now, I'm just letting it soak in and just enjoy it. But yeah, folks, stay safe, take care, and by the way, if you haven't made any plans for Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that, I suggest you start doing it now, because that's what I'm doing right now. Start planning, trying to figure out what to do. Alright folks, have a good one, and I'll see you around next time.